go live on Instagram. I realized like with 5 minutes left of the show that I had.
Oh, really?
Yep. I was like, oop, forgot to hit that button. Monday night. I was tired that night too. Go live because you got to hit it like 4 times before it works. Okay, there it is. Hey everybody, happy Sunday night. It's the Mike and Scott show where we take your calls here in just a second. So grab your beverage of choice. I've switched it up. I've gone to Coke Zero Cherry.
Oh, nice.
Back in the day, I used to drink this all the time. Then I got burned out on it, but I would try it again. So there we go. I'm switching it up. You just had chicken noodle soup, so you got to be thirsty.
Yeah, I just had the good old like classic Diet Pepsi.
There you go. I'll say chicken noodle soup makes me super thirsty. Let's see, got that. Oh my gosh! So I had my phone on. I forgot that you could put your phone when it's on display on like charging. Where it'll do the slideshow with your pictures.
Okay, yeah.
Because I've always had it just on like the clock radio looking thing. I forgot like if you slide it to the left or whatever, it does your pictures. A picture just came up from our podcast cruise. Like I think it was one where we met like forever ago. But anyway, I'm holding up a phone, taking a selfie in the mirror, I guess, before like with the podcast shirt with the tiki guy, like tiki dude on the shirt. But anyway, that's not the thing. My phone case, though, that I'm holding is one of those. Remember when you used to be able to make your phone case like at the Tomorrowland?
Oh, yeah.
God, those were cool. Like I
did like those.
It was a marathon weekend one. It had the
I remember once I was at Verizon and the guy was like, all right, so let's get you this phone case. And I told him, no, I actually got this special place I go to get my phone cases. He's like, oh, yeah, what's that? And I was like,
Tomorrowland.
I go to Walt Disney World.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, because he was trying to give me like a nice otter box, and I'm like, no, I get this weird Disneyland case instead.
Yeah, those things were, that was such a cool looking case because it had the marathon weekend logo and it was perfect. It was like turquoise blue. Oh, now it's
I had a
beignet.
I remember I think I had a white iPhone where I got this like it's a small world case, so I had like all like the dolls like on the back, like it was super cool.
You know what? I think I had that one. There was a year where they had. Yeah, it was. I think I had that one too. I don't even know if that was a customizable. I think you could buy that one in the store.
I think you just got that one. Yeah.
Yes, because that was one of the cooler looking ones. All right, is it 6? It is 6:01. Let's just do the show. Let's do the show. Oh wait, there's a couple. People want to talk about a couple things in the Discord, and I forgot what they were. Let's pop this up real quick.
Thanks for getting me all paid in full for my trip in 3 weeks.
Oh, dude, I got to make my final payment for my cruise tomorrow. That's gonna suck. Like 9,000 because I paid off the credit card today, so I could do that tomorrow. Oof. The only way I look at it is that's like oh my gosh, there's my points towards my annual pass renewal in April.
Oh yeah,
and that's gonna hurt.
I don't think I'm renewing my annual pass.
I'm trying to think, should I or not? But
I don't think I'm going. I mean, maybe that could be a discussion we talk about. I don't think I'm going to because like I don't see myself going in the next 6 months, and I feel like I'm just throwing away money for 6 months.
I know, but see,
and I feel like you can get
it. Pam could be like, dude, there's a media event. Like that's my problem. Like, because she had a media event for me, like actually, 2 days ago. But then I was in the shower and she needed an answer in 30 minutes. I didn't get back here fast enough. So I don't know. That's a good question because I have thought about not doing it because I'm not going this summer. We're not going any days before the cruise. I asked the girls if they wanted to, and they said, "Yeah, probably not for the cost."
Yeah.
So I don't know because we can't be there that long. Like we're flying home the day.
I mean, where my pickle was like, you couldn't renew annual passes for that one, or you couldn't renew. You couldn't buy a new one. So like that's my concern. Like, will that happen again?
No, that is
would. I don't think it will.
I don't think it either. I know, but if that were the case, 100%.
I don't want to be like what happened to Wade. Where he made that decision and then he went like 2.5 years without being able to get one. I want that to happen to me.
I know, seriously. I don't know. For me, like I almost see it's like cost of doing business, but it's big cost. I don't know because you renew like more than one. Like I'm only renewing one. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Oh, wait, let me hit this. Too many buttons. You come early, you get the live show, everybody. Or you get the pre-show. I don't even know what I'm saying. We're both tired, so give us some mercy tonight, please.
Yes. Lots of fresh air on the golf course today.
And we had a birthday party and I ate too much pizza. Happy Sunday to Jess and Becky and Don and Peter and Isabel and everybody over on Instagram, because it's flying by on Instagram.
Yeah, what up, Jess? When are we going to train for another Walt Disney World marathon, right?
Not today. Let's don't. Okay, here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP open line for Sunday night, March 3rd, 2024. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Yes, we're jazzing it up tonight. We're going to be taking your calls for the next hour at 407-413-9395. Again, 407-413-9395. That's right. We have a house band now rocking here in the studios. And joining me tonight, your friend and mine up in Michigan, fresh off the links early this year, spring training man himself. It is Scotty G. What's up, Scott? How was golfing today?
Happy Sunday, Mike. Golf was good. Broke 100, which is always the ultimate goal. So I was looking at the last 4 years. My handicap kind of keeps going up and down. Kind of ashamed to say what the score is for my handicap, so I'm not going to say it. But it dropped 2.5 strokes last year. So the goal this year is to drop another 2.5. And today started in the right direction. But about that house band, like on the shows where I'm not on, where it's you, like Ricky and Pam, and I just volunteered to be the drummer at least for the house band, because like I would love to get the sticks out again and start jamming.
Dude, I'd love you to recruit some friends and just have a whole drum line. You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, I can make that happen.
There's nothing better than
the BOGP drum line. How sweet would that be?
You got to dress up like the Green Army men too. I mean, come on now, like that. Drum lines are nothing gets you pumped like a drum line.
Dude, I'm gonna start recruiting some people right now. We're gonna make it happen.
Who had those commercials back in the day? I think it was like where like a band like went around and it was like they would follow them around during their daily routine, like Mike. They're doing Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah,
around all day long. Like, oh my god, that'd be perfect. No, so the house band and you could be a drum line and we could make everybody. That could be like a Patreon tier or something. I don't know. We could do something, but a gospel choir. Jed says yes. I mean, you got to run a marathon. Well, you don't have to run a full marathon anymore. They're at the end of the 5:10, the half the full. They're there for everybody. Equal opportunity gospel choirs. Anyway. Tonight, we're going to be taking your calls, 407-413-9395, over on our Discord. By the way, I got to talk about our Discord at the top of the show today. Now, Discord, a lot of people hear that and they're like, that sounds kind of weird. And I felt the exact same way. I'm like, old dude, get off my lawn. What's up with Discord? I'm better with message boards. We used to have the message boards a decade ago, the V-Bulletin things that were kind of pre-Twitter, pre-Facebook, all that stuff. That's kind of how our community really got rolling back in the day. And then social media hit and everybody kind of moved over to Twitter and Facebook and those things fell apart. I've really wanted in 2024 to really build that community back, have people communicating together, meeting each other, passing pictures back and forth in a smaller community of our listeners on a daily basis where people are talking at all hours of the day, communicating, helping each other, exchange, ideas for port adventures on cruises. We have a sub forum for the cruises. We're talking ADRs. For upcoming trips. We're just putting up pictures from previous vacations, just sharing memories and talking about our pets. It's not all about Disney over there. We're talking about just life in general. So come on over to our Discord. Really, I think the thing that scared me and a lot of people is that they're called servers. Like you join a Discord server. Really what a Discord server is just like a chat room or a message board. It's a message board that kind of sometimes moves a little quickly because it's real time. But it's just a message board, and I'm trying to make it as organized as possible. It's getting there. So come on over, give it a shot. Just go to BeOurGuestPodcast.com, and right there, there's a link. Just go down to the main page. It says, join us on Discord. You just put your username, and you're set. And you can also download the app. There's a Discord app. Boom. You're set right there on your phone. You can take it with you wherever you go. That's what I do. My little phone, every time there's a message, it'll go boop or something like that. And I know, hey, somebody's posted something cool, so I'm going to go check out and see what it is. But it's a lot of fun. We're having a good time over there this week. But on the Discord tonight, we had some suggestions for topics to throw out there. Craig down in Louisville said we could talk about what's your favorite background music around Walt Disney World, your favorite area for background music. So if you want to share that tonight, that's one of the topics that we have. Trisha said she wants to talk about March Madness bracket. So we might get into that throughout the month of March, but we're not probably going to do that tonight because I need to give out a little more thought of like what topics. And then June Mouse Mom was talking about room requests. Do you typically do a room request? You know, if you're at a certain hotel, what are some kind of sneaky room requests you might throw in there? She mentioned that she ended up getting a 60s room request, a 60s room at Pop Century, even though she booked into a standard because she got the back facing Hourglass Lake sky close to the Skyliner room, because it's not a preferred room because it's backside, not a preferred location. So, but she was super happy with it because she was on the backside of the 60s, but she loved it because Skyliner access looking at Hourglass Lake. I mean, bam, that's what she wanted. So we could talk about those things, a couple other things. But again, the phone number for tonight, we'd love to talk to you over the next hour, is 407-413-9395. So give us a yell. So Scott, 2025 packages come out this week. I had no idea they were coming until about 24 hours ahead of time. Kind of rocked my world in a good way. I was excited to help folks, but what's been going on in your world, Disney news wise?
No, Disney news. Right, I like seeing those. You're seeing a lot more boats going down Tiana's bayou, which really excites me. Before the show started, me and Mike were talking about annual passes and such, and I'm like, man, like now I kind of want to make a summer trip though, because you know how much I love Princess and the Frog. I love Splash Mountain. So that seems like it's going to be coming quicker than we might think, because I think Josh tomorrow might have been seen like recording like a promo video of some sort. So normally when that happens, like I feel like a date follows that, right? And if you're booking these summer 2020, well, I guess this would be summer 2024, so the 25 packages really shouldn't matter for that. But I feel like it's coming soon, Mike. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I totally think it is, because he was out there shooting that promo. So I'm thinking 4th of July ish. Because it's like an American Tale, right?
I know. I think someone asked us on a live show a few weeks ago, and I went like, because I said, well, summer can stretch out to like mid-September by technically when you look at the calendar. So I was thinking September, but oh man, I don't know now.
They're hot on it, man. They're moving faster than they normally do. Like they're getting a little Universal in there, Disney lately, which I like to see competition again. But we have our first call tonight. So let's see who we got. I appreciate you calling in. So it's Mike and Scott on this end. Who's calling us in on that end?
Ella from Arkansas.
Oh, sorry, you're down in Arkansas. Who is it?
Ella.
Oh, hey, what's up, Ella? Tell your dad we said hello, by the way.
Always.
What's going on?
I was going to comment on y'all's discussion about AP renewal. Me and my dad renewed about 2 weeks ago for both of us. And as of right now, we don't have any upcoming trips planned, but one of our big reasons we renew that y'all didn't touch on is fear of not being able to buy them again if we plan something and don't renew.
So, okay, let's hang on one second, Ella, because for the folks that are listening here on Thursday on the feed, before we started recording, we were having a little pre-show discussion, and that was one of our concerns that we were talking about. We said, we don't have, because I'm going on a cruise this summer, but we don't have the time. My family doesn't have the time to go to Walt Disney World just because Mallory has cheerleading. She can only be gone for so long. So we don't have time to do a land and cruise because we're doing a 7-night cruise. So we got to come home. Like we got to go from the ship straight to the airport. I've never done that. I'm already dreading it. And I'm like 4 months away from the cruise. I'm already sad. No. Terrible. I know. Pam even said it. Pam's like, that's going to be horrible, isn't it? I'm like, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. The one cruise we did a like 2 nights over at Universal after our cruise.
I would take a Motel 6 on Cocoa Beach, after the cruise if I had to. I mean, come on now. Like this is going to be brutal, but I mean, what are you going to do? It's that or not go. So we're going to do that, but it's like, but the thing is like, I could, because like Pam has some things come up every once in a while. I get to go down for like 2 days for the agency, there's things that pop up for me. So my girls haven't had annual passes for a few years. So it's just me renewing. So it's not like multiples where Scott has it. But again, mine expires in April. That was the concern that we had, though, that we didn't talk about here, that while we were recording on the show, since we've gone live, is that what if, and we don't think that would happen again. That was a very special circumstance, But there was that period where you could not renew your annual pass again, and we're scared to death that would happen.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, last year I went 3 times, and only one of those was really planned far in advance. The 2 others were planned about 2 months before we went, which is pretty quick for us to have a trip planned. And that was my sort of family trip with my aunt, and then our Star Cruiser trip.
Yep.
Those we did not plan super far in advance. And if I didn't have an annual pass, we probably wouldn't have been able to go on those. And as of right now, we don't have anything planned, but I would love to go down for my birthday this summer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, Scott, chime in on this. I think the thing too with an annual pass is that it presents opportunity for what Ella just said. Like, oh, well, it's my birthday. I'm going to go for a weekend, and then I just got to worry about the hotel and food, flights, What do you think, Scott?
I was going to say, that's the beauty of the annual pass is like the flexibility. And Mike, and I'm very well known for like, hey, tomorrow let's go to Walt Disney World. And you can't. And it's very easy to do with the annual pass. Like I'm thinking about the cruise thing you're talking about too, Mike. Like there's one Memorial Day weekend, I think it was in 2022. We went down for a cruise, and Guardians had just opened, so we were flying the day we like got off the ship, but we still hopped into Epcot real quick and did Guardians and left because we had the annual pass. Like doing things like that. Like if you're even staying on like a 10-night trip, like you're like, oh, let's not have a park day, but you can still hop in for like dinner at Epcot and leave, and because you have an annual pass. But if you have a Magic Your Way ticket, you're not going to feel like, oh, I just don't want to go into Epcot just to eat. Like it feels weird when you do that. So like there's some great pros of having an annual pass, and it's just you kind of just have to look at the calendar a little bit and try to like work it out. Like do I have 2 trips in the next 12 months or whatnot, and then you might make 3 or 4 different ones, right?
Yeah, and Ella too with the annual pass. Like I'm so chill with my days in the parks where if I'm ever on a Magic Your Way ticket, I don't even want to take a break. Like I feel like I have to get maximum value out of every minute in the park. I don't want to take a midday break. It's kind of how I am at Disneyland, because at Disneyland I'm on a ticket. Like I'm on a ticket where I buy it per day. And so I want to get my value out of that 5-day park hopper with Genie Plus. Like I'm going to use that Genie Plus. I'm going to park hop, and I'm going to get all my hours out of every one of those 5 days. That's just how I am.
And Jared has a great question about the annual passes. So like if you don't renew, because sometimes there's benefit to renewing. There might be like a $100 off or something. There might be like a little discount if you renew. But if you let it lapse and want to buy, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think yes, like you can buy the annual pass and then it doesn't actually go into effect until the first time you use it. It's different if you renew, it just continues on that cycle. But if you let it go and then you buy a new one, then it doesn't activate till you enter a park the first time.
Yeah, but you can't renew and then hold off, because when you renew, it just goes back to the day it expires. Like it just continues on for 365 days. Yep. Mm-hmm. So Ella, that you guys don't have trips planned though. That's surprising, because you guys tend to go to all of the or not, I shouldn't say all, but you guys tend to go to a lot of the kind of Disney fan events, which that's where having the annual pass is kind of a sweet spot for like a lot of the communities, which I think I get a huge kick out of that.
Yeah, there was an event that both of us wanted to go to, that it was a really small thing, and it sold out and waitlist closed before we even had a chance.
Wow. And
so things like that. It was a Halcyon fan event that we were trying to go to.
Man, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's a fan.
And then I can also comment on the background music question.
I can tell you what your answer is going to be somewhere in Epcot. Right?
Yes. It is a very specific location.
Let me guess. Let me try to.
I know what it is.
I'm gonna try to guess, because I kind of know Ella and her dad. I'm just gonna, but I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. Is it the Imagination area bathrooms?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yes.
Yo, look at that other one.
The Be Our Guest podcast, we know our listeners. I love it. Woo-woo, because that is some of the best background music ever made.
There are many times whenever I have waited for it to clear out and I have started recording audio on my phone in there.
Scott, send her the loop.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I got that loop, and I do the same thing though. Like I gotta recreate these playlists any opportunity I can. So I try to find a quiet area a lot of times to reconstruct the playlist. So I'm proud of you, Ella. That makes me so happy.
Me too.
That's awesome. We do have quite the audio collection, but we probably have it somewhere.
I'm sure you do. Well, Ella, hey, thanks for making my night, and tell your dad we said hello. It's good to talk to you.
Y'all too.
All right, you guys take care down there. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye. I knew that's what she was gonna say. I knew it.
Dude, that bathroom though has gotten so popular, like especially on Run Disney races. I feel like everyone just knows that bathroom is there. When you do a Run Disney race, when you come into Epcot, everyone just shoots out that way.
I think I can't tell if the next call is on the line or not. I think I hit it, and I think they hung up at the exact same time. But 225 area code, are you there? Maybe. No. 225 area code. Give us a call back. We'll get you right in. You got the express line. No, that is true though. Man, there is a lot of discussion though with annual passes, and it's again. So we had a birthday party today here on Sunday as we're recording the show for my wife. Her birthday's this week, and so we had the family. Her family was over, so we did the cake and the presents and everything for her and her sister. We do like a bunch of people at the same time, and so the conversation always gets to Disney because her sisters, a couple of her sisters and her mom are going on the Disney Wish 2 days before we're going on the Fantasy. We're going on a different ship.
That's fine.
Not intentionally.
Yeah, I feel like someone planned it that way.
We just happen to be going on a different cruise 2 days later to a different part of the Caribbean. Anyway, but Donna, if you're listening, because I just want to go on the Fantasy and I just want to go to 4-night or 7-night cruise. We just went on the Wish. Anyway, I'm not digging myself out of this one, but it always turns to Disney. And like I was talking to my brother-in-law who works in business, and we just had this conversation about how Disney, Walt Disney World, just these Disney trips. They just got back from taking my nephew, I think he's in first grade. He's young. How everything with a Disney trip though is just it's about strategic planning. It's because he's not in like we are, right? He's kind of casual with it all. But it's about crunching numbers. It's about making good decisions like constantly. You're constantly having to make good decisions. Like it's always about crunching data. Even like he said, trying to, because they have a young child and it was about just trying to get lunch, right? He can't sit for 30 minutes at a sit down restaurant at this point. So it was just trying to figure out like, how can I get my kid a hot dog in 5 minutes? You got to think about these things. Everything is something you really have to consider. Hey, we'll get that caller back in, but we'll pick that up here in a second. All right, caller, thanks for calling back. Who do we got? Hello, who's this?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Scott. This is Charles from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Charles, thanks for calling in.
Charles, how you doing?
Good. How are y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are things down there?
Not too bad. We're just getting some things done around the house. I had a quick kind of a opinion question for y'all.
All right, let's hear it.
So I'm looking at we're looking at sneaking out of Louisiana during Mardi Gras next year with kind of a big family. I'm kind of looking at Old Key West possibly, because it's kind of like I said, we got grandparents, me, my family, my sister and her family, and I'm kind of wondering. I know, Scott, that's your home resort and everything. I'm wondering if it's quote unquote Disney enough for kids. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Side note, is this the Charles that messaged me on Instagram? Because that's awesome that you were able to get through.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Yeah. I'm glad you got through.
With the last name down to Louisiana, because I'm not going to say your last name, but now because Scott told me like somebody was going to be sending a call tonight, and with the last name and you're from Louisiana, absolutely this is that person.
Yeah. That's easy to figure out.
Awesome. So I totally hear what you're saying, right? Because like, you think about like a Pop Century or something like that seems very Disney because you got like the characters around and all that. And
yes,
I will say like Old Key West doesn't feel the super Disney, right? It feels like Florida, kind of like a Florida vacation where you got these gorgeous palm trees, like the cool colors on the villas and all that, like a fun swimming area, which is very kids like fun, right? I mean, it's good for the kids, but it's not gonna pop at Disney. Like, and sometimes like a character might come in and out, but like the food options aren't like it's not like Mickey's barbecue or anything like that. I mean, it's all like very like Florida tropical, so not super Disney.
Because we were kind of looking at either maybe all of us just getting our own rooms at Art of Animation, you know, kind of more for the kids, or if we'd rather stay together, staying at Old Key West. I just, you know, our daughter will be a little under 2 years old at that time, so I hate to go stay somewhere where she doesn't even feel like she's at Disney, you know.
She's going to be under 2 or 2?
Under 2, yeah. She'll be under 2 years old.
So I don't even know the difference.
That's what I'm saying, because we both had kids, and I'm just saying, I mean, for the adults, I might just, because I mean, like, you could still take her swimming. Like, I think she would still have a good time just being at a pool at that age, you know.
And they'll do like, if you go to the main pool too, Charles, they'll have like, I mean, now that she's under 2, she'll be doing like the Disney trivia activities they have out there. But it does get kind of more Disney-fied at like the main pool when they bring like all the kids together and do stuff. But
yeah, I guess. But I would say, like, not to interrupt, but I'd say like if she was 6, I'd say lean more towards going to like a Art of Animation or like a Pop Century. But at 2, I would say Old Key West and have the adults have a good time. Because a pool's a pool at that age.
And Charles, let me tell you something. So my in-laws have come twice on Walt Disney World trips. The first time was at Old Key West. Now we kind of did it up. We did a 2-bedroom villa. I've done a 2-bedroom villa with Mike, so he kind of knows like how nice that is.
That's awesome.
And every time we tell them that we're going to Disney, you know, and they know we go quite a bit, and they always say, "Oh, are you going to Old Key West again? Like, and if so, like, can we come? Is there room for us?" Like, that just had a huge impression on them. They just that felt like the most vacation they've ever felt, and they were surprised that they felt that way at Walt Disney World, you know, the kids' place or whatever. So my in-laws talk about that trip all the time. So that's why I like the bigger family that you're talking about here, because it's such a chill place, like a cool place to hang out, and like I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. I really don't.
Okay, and me and my wife were also curious because we went to Key West last year. Actually, we were wondering how much of the Key West vibe is actually there. You know, I'm not sure if y'all been to Key West or not, but we were looking to kind of compare it a little bit. You know, I know it's not going to be exactly it, but
I'm hoping that you can come on the show and tell us.
Copy.
I mean, it's to me, again, I've never been to Key West, but it's just, and Scott and I talk about this all the time because we're both huge Old Key West fans. I mean, he's obviously DVC and owns there. I just happen to be just a guest there all the time. But when you're sitting, one of the places I love to be at Old Key West is I love to sit at Olivia's on that outside patio as you're having dinner, especially like right at sunset or later in the evening, and just watch the guests, because there's a breezeway there. Just come and go, you know, like excitedly head out to a bus to go to a theme park or Disney Springs, or come back from their adventures of the day. And inevitably there, it's a lot of families, right? So you hear grandparents talking to grandkids, and, you know, it's just, it's such a chill vibe there. It's unlike the values, the other places, the moderates. It's just, it does feel like people are at like in a little community, and I soak it up over there. I love it so much.
Charles, I have a question for you. Were you all going to be driving, or were you going to be renting a car at all? Do you know?
No, we normally just like to Uber around.
Okay.
And then just whatever transportation, we'll use buses and everything.
Okay. So that's one thing that people always say about.
I can ask you as well as if how, you know, with a toddler, if we need to take a break in the middle of the day, how much of an ordeal is it to get back to the Old Key West in the middle of the day? Yeah.
Awesome. That's a great question, because that is one of the more challenging things I would guess people would say about the resort. That's why I asked if you're going to have a car, because it is big. And depending on where your room is, like you might have a little bit of a walk to a bus stop, or when you return, you're going to have to like go through basically the whole resort, which is fun. Like I personally like, because I like seeing the resort. It's my home resort. So like I'm biased. I love seeing all the parts of the resort. So just know like sometimes like the bus rides could take a little while, and I don't know what time of year you're going, but sometimes it might be, if it's summertime and, you know, it might be hot kind of walking to some of those bus stops. But Yeah. But I still think it's worth it. I was just gonna say if you were having a car, or even if you were Ubering, like the Uber driver can drop you off like right in front of your villa, which is really nice. Because that
would be helpful.
Because like if you go to like a Value or even some of the moderates, like they'd have to drop you off like kind of like in a parking lot, and then you kind of have to weave your way through and find your building. But at Old Key West, every like villa kind of has like its own parking spot, so they can just drop you like right off in front of the villa, which is so convenient.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. So it's super nice.
Yeah, that's pretty convenient.
So if you're ordering like an Uber, like sometimes it might be easier to meet them at like the main like lobby area. But definitely if you're getting dropped off because you're in the car, you can just tell them, hey, my building is like over here. Can you just drop me off over here? And I would say I've never seen an Uber driver not do that. So.
Yeah.
And we're getting some good love in the chat for the 2-year-olds too that have done kind of the same thing that you're planning, Charles, and they said they highly recommend it.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. That's good. It's gonna push us towards going to Old Key West. Then that sounds good.
I want to come,
Mike.
Yeah.
I thought y'all had us like this past football season. I thought y'all almost pulled it out against us against LSU.
I was there, man. That quarterback, he's something. That kid, oh my God, Jaden Daniels, that guy. I thought he's coming out of the game, and then he came back like Superman and was like flying all over the place. Like, can somebody catch that kid? I was screaming. And then I was like, well, if I'd have known then he was going to win the Heisman Trophy, it'd have been a lot easier if I could have known in October. But it was. Then he stole our guy, so I'm not a big LSU fan. But what can I do?
Yeah. We just got the defensive coordinator.
Yes, you took him. He's a good guy. Yeah. And actually, one of my former students is a D-backs coach for y'all too. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Robert Steeples.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was kind of worried about playing all this season. Y'all had a pretty stout football team.
Yeah, we're gonna be national champions this time next year. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Give it a run. We're gonna give it a run.
Scott, one day if I'm in Orlando at the same time as you, I'd love to get around to golfing.
Dude, I'm all for it. That'd be awesome. The cool thing about Old Key West too, you'll be able to see a lot of the course that I really like. Oh, yeah. Some of my favorite holes are right there. So you might even have a golf course view room. But one more thing I wanted to quickly add, Charles. I had a note here. I asked you when were you going to go. You said it right off the bat. You're going to go over Mardi Gras. So you might want to get away from all the excitement in New Orleans, but like you're right there on the Sassagoula. So stopping by the French Quarter could be kind of a cool thing to do too, because they do a pretty fun things over there. So
yes, yeah, we do like going over there whenever we're at Disney, just to kind of. When you're from Louisiana, you like to compare everyone's Louisiana food to what you have back home, and they do it pretty good over there.
Well, that's good to hear.
Let's say something. I love it.
All right, guys.
Hey, don't be a stranger, man. It's good to talk. Yes, that was just a great question, though. I mean, because that's going to help a lot of folks. There's no right or wrong answer, but I mean, you really nailed it with the 2, because I think I think the answer changes at 4 or 5. I totally do, but I think at 2, it's Old Key West. At 5. I think you do go to an Art of Animation. So I think, seize the day. Go now.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. You have a good night.
All right. You take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Charles. Thanks for the call.
All right. We had a question here. I want to jump up here, though, to this question that actually had another call coming in. I'll get it real quick. Catherine Coppersmith said, hey, guys, can't call in tonight, but I have a question for you. Fried chicken showdown. This is a good one for us. Would you rather go to homecoming or hoop-de-doo? I'm planning ahead, so we would be going with a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. Hoop-de-doo or...
Fun question. Do you have an answer, Mike?
God, with a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old? Man, so is the 2-year-old still free, I guess, at homecoming or at a hoop-de-doo, I guess? I'm trying to think.
I guess so. Maybe, yeah. I would assume so.
I'd probably do hoop-de-doo.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think.
If it's just for the fried chicken, if it's a fried chicken showdown per se, I might go with homecoming.
But I mean, I'm trying to. Well, what I was thinking though was 5 and 2-year-olds at dinner. Are they? Because I haven't had kids that young in a long time at dinner. Yeah. Hoop-de-doo at least would entertain them, right? I mean, would it? I'm kind of skipping the fried chicken. The fried chicken's awesome at both. It's a little fancier at hoop-de-doo, obviously. The hoop-de-doo chicken's more just regular, good old, kind of just plain old.
You think it's better at homecoming, and it's just regular at
fancier at homecoming. I kind of like them both. They're just different. I think they're kind of different.
I'm gonna call it fancier per se. I think the homecoming chicken is better, but Hoop-de-Doo has more like the wild, crazy entertainment. And to your point with the 5 and 2-year-old, like everyone's loud in there. So if there's like a screaming kid, like no one's even going to notice because everyone's hooting and hollering in there.
True. Homecoming's not like real quiet either, though. Too. I mean, you could probably.
I have both. I have reservations for both over my spring break trip coming up, actually.
So I'm trying to think. I would go. So if I had to give an answer, I'd say Hoop-de-Doo.
I'm going the other way. I'm going Homecoming. We didn't help.
Didn't really. Okay, we have a question over on Instagram, so we gotta split that one down the middle.
William is though going strong on the Hoop-de-Doo. So there we go.
There we go. We're leaning with William, and we can't talk Beaver football. He said because they're in a dire situation in the Pac-2. He says, since you're talking about the resorts, wonder if you had to pick a resort to stay at for just one night, which would you go with? I'm about to probably book my DVC stay, but might come in a day early. Well, kind of depends. So you're just looking for just one night. Are you looking? So give us more information, RC Kennedy. That's a big open question. You looking moderate, deluxe,
one night?
Follow up.
Two to come to mind for one night.
A one nighter. What are you gonna do? What's good? What you got?
So it depends on if I want to watch like fireworks from my resort or not. I lean more towards pool time, so I'm going to Yacht or Beach Club, and I'm just gonna hang out in Stormalon Bay, have some beaches and cream, maybe have a nice meal at Yachtsman Steakhouse, or maybe even go over to Flying Fish on the boardwalk because it's a short walk away. But definitely staying at Yacht and Beach Club, probably Yacht Club because I prefer yacht over beach.
I do too. I don't know why I prefer yacht over beach. Maybe because I tend to maybe get a discount more at yacht, and maybe it's darker.
Yacht is just nicer to me. It just is. Yeah.
Well, for a point there, Yacht Club had been updated more recently than Beach,
Yeah.
but I think Beach has been updated now. I don't know.
I think Beach is just it's just louder. Like I don't know. There's like more like chaos. I don't.
My wife says. My wife a long time ago said, "Are families not allowed to stay in Yacht Club?" She says the exact same thing. She 10 years ago or 20 years ago, she said that probably.
And I just like that. I just like that area of the resort better. It feels like it's more like tucked away. Like I don't know. Like you booked me in a room once that was like right at the far end, kind of like where the dog area is, and it was even though it was like the pet area, like it just seemed quieter. Like I don't know. Like, and I just like the color of the wood. You know, when you're walking around. Like I don't know. I just find Yacht Club more appealing, even though like you said, everything's like the same. Like I can use everything at Beach Club, you know, like the pool's shared and all that. But I just find Yacht Club more entertaining. But
everybody's saying that too. Like in the chat, like Thomas is saying that. Deanna's, is this intentional? Are these not supposed to be equivalent as resorts? Like I thought it was just me. But
I think a lot of us might book Yacht too. Maybe it's because more of us that stayed at Yacht because I always feel like Yacht has more of a discount or like a better price point than Beach. Maybe I'm making that up in my head, but
I think we're onto something here. Okay, think about this. Because has Disney not like since 20 years ago like promoted Beach way more than Yacht? Like in their like in the videos. I mean, I'm talking back in the videos days, like VHS tape days, and DVD days. Did they not used to pump like Beach Club all the time? And
I think Deanna is hidden something about it too. I think it's because you have a DVC portion of the resort at Beach Club, so. Like you see that in a lot of advertising because hey, come stay in the villas and whatever, and Yacht doesn't have the villas, so I think that might be why they push Beach more, like in some of those promos.
That's a good point,
but, man. If they added a DVC wing to Yacht, like man, I'd want to own her. Like because like I would love to own at Beach, but like I just can't. You know, you just can't. It's not for sale, and like you really can't ever book Beach unless if you own there. Very rarely can you get it at 7 months. So the problem though, if they knocked out a wing though, then we're like losing like chances for all of us to stay there without the DVC too, which is kind of a bummer, you know.
Well, and Yacht Club's got all the convention stuff too. They got a convention hall.
They do.
So they use that. Let's see. Ryan followed up.
Love my Yacht Club though.
So Ryan followed up with just curious what resort gives you the best options for one night in your opinion, no cost limitation. So if you're not looking cost, yeah, I think you got a good option, Yacht Beach.
But if you want to see like fireworks though, like, you know, I think staying on somewhere on the monorail is really nice too, because then you can, you know, you see Happily Ever After from like a theme park view room at the Contemporary or something, you know, which would be pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, for example, like we were talking about how my phone was doing the slideshow thing earlier tonight. And I saw a picture of us where we were sitting, all of our families outside Gasparilla's at the Grand Floridian looking at the fireworks. And it was just a great picture. Like we were just chilling with Mickey bars, watching fireworks. So yeah, maybe do it one night at the Grand. Because the Grand is cool, and they just redid those rooms.
I will tell you, like, it doesn't matter what the resort is. Like, it's just fun. It's just fun when you can just spend. I'm a resort guy, you know that, Mike. So, like, this is, of course, I'm going to feel this way. But just to spend a full day at the resort is just so cool. Like, even like a resort like Saratoga, where you can go to like 4 different pools. You can go to like the Turf Club Lounge and hang out and snack around. Like, I mean, there's just awesome things to do at any resort out there, you know, and it would just be fun. I would love to just like do a whole week-long trip where I just like change the resort every night. If someone could come in and pack my stuff and move it for me, that'd make it so much better, because that's actually the worst part of that. But just to stay at a different resort every night and just use like what the resort has to offer would be awesome.
That'd be like a cool blog post too. You know what I'm saying? Like that'd be
I'm gonna do it, Mike.
Somebody has to have done that.
I'm not going to renew my annual pass. I'm going to do a 7-night trip, 7 different resorts.
I'm sure, but I bet you some vloggers done that for every resort, like consecutively.
Oh,
there has to be like probably how many resorts, like 23, 24, something like that, and they've done it one consecutive. It's got to be out there somewhere. All right, 407-413-9395. We've been yakking.
I have a favorite background loop. Or
okay, yes, I bet yours is in Epcot too. Well, no, yours is probably I take that back. I'm being like the guy from Johnny Carson with the Carmack hat. Yours is from a resort.
It could be. I mean, and let's be honest, Mike, and think you feel the same way too. These answers can change depending on your mood. I wrote 2 down when you said that. One was at a park, one was at a resort. I'm gonna go with my park one as my favorite, because I think this is one I go to a lot when I go to, like, if I just want to have something on while I'm working. This is one I think I go to the most. And that is the Tower of Terror background loop. And
it's a good one.
It is so good. It's like, and it's funny because you can get all those songs, right? Like Barrel Inn, Deep Purple, and all, like, you can find all these songs.
They're so morbid.
And you can try to create it yourself, but it's not the same, because the background loop uses like these cool effects. Like the songs like aren't like originally like how they would normally sound like when they were released. So it is well like put together in this unique fashion. I just think makes it just stand out more than any background loop. And I could just listen to that kind of music all day. So the Tower of Terror background loop is my favorite.
That's it. That is one of my favorites too. And until I heard a podcast where they talked about it, I never realized like all the songs are like super like about death. Like, like, you know, they are like in a weird way, like see you on the other side, you know, and stuff like that.
We'll meet again, Maryland.
Yes,
oh my God. It's like, it's so good. But like that version of Tower, I want that version of Tower of Terror, because the way it's like edited, it's so different than the original release. It's so good.
It's such a good mix. Okay, we have our next call, and it's from the 314 area code, which I know this area code. So, hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Scotty G. This is Jared.
I know that voice.
Chicago.
What's up, Jared?
What's going on, guys? All right. New background loop. So, Tower of Terror, Scotty, that's a great one. So, when Camden, who's 18 now, was car seat age, we would be out driving around, and he'd be whining and crying and carrying on, and we would turn that thing on in the car, and he would instantly be lights out.
What does that say?
It's soothing. It was very soothing.
It is soothing,
and he got wise to it too eventually, because we would turn it on, and he would, he'd be in the back, and he's like, "Oh no!" And the next thing you know, he couldn't fight it. He was knocked out. He was lights out.
Holy cow, though, to think that Cam is 18 now. I know.
He's gonna graduate this year. It's crazy.
I just met the guy and he's 18 already. Like, I just heard about him.
Yeah. So I do have some input here for background loops as well. No big surprise probably, but I have 2, and they're both from the studios as well. One of them is from the best ride in all of Disney's Hollywood Studios, and that's Baseline Tap House. Their background music, their background loop is it's, to quote Mike, it's my jam.
It is.
It's awesome.
So do they have a set background loop, or there's changes more frequently than others, correct? Because isn't it like weird covers of current songs?
No, it's not. It is a set. It's a set list, and actually, I have one compiled on Apple Music. That's the Baseline Tap House background loop. But it's like jazzy, bossa nova versions of pop songs.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's so soothing. It's just so soothing. It's smooth. It's smooth to listen to.
I'm not sure if Mike picked up on the fact that you said it's the best ride at
No, I picked up on it.
Okay, good.
I appreciate that because I mean, we all have our things, and I know that is absolutely because I mean, 72% of the time that I've seen you and your crew, it's been at Baseline Tap House, like in waiting for your time to get buckled in over there. So there you go.
That's no lie.
I mean, it used to be. No lie. This used to be the holding pin for your Rise of the Resistance virtual queue to be held. I mean, like that was like the adult. I mean, that was the holding place. Yeah.
Beverage in hand while you're pressing refresh with the other.
Exactly.
Well, we had a good time there over Marathon Weekend, Mike. We stayed inside, remember? We hung out at Baseline. So getting you there a little bit more often these days. I like it.
I do. It's not a bad. Well, I mean, during the pandemic, you and I learned how to make a reel there.
My first TikTok video, I think, was at Baseline.
Whenever we made a real TikTok, it was stupid. Yeah.
I might be dropping a little bit of a hot take too, but Baseline Tap House, you can get free refills on sodas there. So they have I don't know what you want to call them, like artisan sodas or specialty sodas there. And if you keep your cup and or your receipt, you can go back all day long and get free refills on those.
Ooh, probably not anymore that you said it out loud.
That was a nice a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Not in 25. You get to go to the water parks. You won't get to do that.
What's that other favorite background loop?
Background loop is on Sunset Boulevard, and that's either the regular background loop or the holiday background
loop.
Both
are fantastic.
Yes. You can walk around at Christmas time and hear that song 77 Santas about 77 times a day.
It seems like every time I'm there over Christmas, that song is on repeat. It feels like. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So Jared, I love that. One of my favorite things to do is to go to like that fruit stand on Sunset and, get a beer or a snack to go with it and just sit on a bench or sit like in that whole seating area, right? Where they have like those 3 counter service restaurants and just chat and listen to the background loop, then go get another beer, then go listen to the background loop on repeat. Just a beautiful way to spend an evening, I think. I love it.
Scotty, have I mentioned that you and I are practically the same person?
You guys are pretty close.
Are you wearing a Vineyard Vine shirt right now, too?
I am wearing a Vineyard Vine. Yes, sir. I can't wait till they open that up in Disney Springs. I'm going to rope drop that store.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. So what's your next trip? So you're doing a cruise, right? That's your next thing?
We are next month we're doing a cruise. We're heading down about 3 days early to squeeze the last few days out of our annual pass before it sadly expires. It's going to expire while we're out at sea on the Disney Fantasy. And then so we get back and we will be passless, which is why I was asking earlier is like, I don't see the value in renewing because the discount is like $140.
Yep.
And if I'm not going to use it for 6 months till we go down for wine and dine, I can't bring myself to do that. However, we were also in that crowd of people that let our annual passes lapse during COVID, and then we could not get annual passes for over 2 years. And Len Testa, I value this man's opinion. I love him as a person. He gave me some of the worst advice in the world about annual passes back at that time, because I sent him a message. I'm like, if there's anybody who, will be able to, answer this question for me, it's you. And it was, hey, our passes expire. We don't have a trip planned or on the books, right? And the next thing that we would possibly do would be January. And this was June to go down if they bring the Disney races back. And this was summer of 2020. So I'm speculating that they were going to bring the races back in 2021 of January, right? And he's like, you know what? Save your money. Don't get them. Run Disney's not coming back. And, passes are, they're going to be completely different animals if and when they do bring them back. And so I let them lapse, and I could not renew. That's what it was. I missed out on the window, right? They had that like 5-week window where you could get them, and I didn't do it. And then I missed out for 2 years. So that's my fear, right? Is I let these things lapse, and then for whatever reason, they pull the plug on it again.
That's my fear too.
That's mine too. See, that's the thing is like they have us all scarred.
You guys want to know something really sad about me?
Exactly, because I'm in the same boat. I don't know, like if that wasn't a factor, I may not renew. But you know what? Out of fear, it's almost like it's almost like I'm paying like an insurance policy. That's why I'm almost like I'm gonna renew.
That scar absolutely runs deep.
It does.
I could still feel it today. But I was looking before I called in, and I think you should be able to even buy a pass now, even though I am a current pass holder. I should be able to buy one, just a net new pass.
You can,
and I'll get a voucher.
Yep. You just don't link it. You just don't link it to your My Disney Experience account.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't link it, right? Because there's two options. The first option, right, is obviously buy a pass, and the second one is to renew. So if you buy a net new pass, I guess it's not, like you said, it's not linked to anything. It should be good.
You just have to eat that cost right now, but you're not losing anything. You're
exactly. Yeah, I was just going to say the other side of that token is I got to cough up $3,000 for 2 passes right now.
Yeah, and you're about to go on a cruise. Yeah, it's fun stuff.
Real quick, Jared, you're going on the fantasy Eastern or Western?
We are doing the Eastern.
Same. I'm doing my Eastern for the first time. Like, what port adventures you guys doing? You doing any good ones? Like what are you planning?
Eastern. So that takes you to Tortola.
Yep.
It takes you to St. Thomas, which then we're going to take a side trip over to St. John, and then Castaway Cay. So that one actually I think has 3 sea days.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I think is it's a great mix of boat time and shore time.
Yeah. So what are you guys going to do in either Tortola or St. Thomas or St. John?
Yep.
Or do you guys? I
think we're in a zip line. We've got booked zip lining tour.
Yep, we're doing zip lining, I think.
And cool. And then for St. Thomas, we're going to take take a boat over to St. John, and there is the beach bar, which is Stacy's mom's favorite place on earth to go. So we have to go kind of pay homage to the beach bar and all the goodness there.
So it's like baseline, but on a beach. So we're going to a place.
On a beach.
So we're going to a place like.
Beat it?
So we're in St. Thomas. I don't know if we're doing the zip line. I think we're gonna do zip. We saw a vlog where people did both. We're gonna zip line, and then there's kind of like a skyliner that goes up the side, like it's like a sky ride or something in St. Thomas. And then there's like a little open air beach bar, not beach bar, but like a little bar, an open air like bar and grill. You would know. It's like it's like Fast Eddie's. You would know because you're from St. Louis. Like you've been to Fast Eddie's, right? Yeah, it's like Fast Eddie's.
I've been to Fast Eddie's too.
Fast Eddie's. People don't know what I'm talking about except us. But it's like a Fast Eddie's kind of looking place, like on top of a mountain overlooking the ship. I'm like, dude, we're in. Like we're going to this little Fast Eddie's where you got to take like a skyliner to the top of the hill. We're gonna do that.
No, I have seen that, Mike. That looks pretty cool too.
Yeah,
that looks like a good time.
I was gonna tell you guys something embarrassing though, going back to the annual passes. So one time, I renewed, and I knew we weren't gonna go for 6 months, but I still renewed. And my reason was because I still wanted to get the Mickey monitor back when they used to mail you the Mickey monitor.
That's so sketch. You may not get it anyway.
That was the most expensive Mickey monitor purchase ever.
Hey,
they don't even do it anymore, right? I don't think so.
You may or may not get it. I think
I have. Well, I haven't gotten a Mickey monitor in 5 years, so I don't think they do it anymore. But
yeah, they scaled it down to where you got one per household, and now I can't remember the last time I got one.
I think it's per quarter too. It's not like monthly or anything, I think.
Yeah, I'll tell you though, the best one though is the DVC files. The quarterly DVC magazine is legit, awesome. So I do love getting those. I'll have to share them with you guys sometime. I've kept every single one I've got, and I got the stack of magazines. It's awesome though.
That's an even more expensive subscription right there.
That one is pretty pricey.
You pays for all kinds of expensive magazine subscriptions.
We got this guy in. He loves our magazine.
On the next shareholders call, let's have another magazine subscription for $50,000. Let's do it.
Oh my God.
How do we justify these annual dues? I got it. We'll send them a magazine.
It works.
Oh, that is
a good sales pitch. That is awesome. Oh man. Jared, thanks for the call, man. I love the baseline loop and that sunset one. Those are 2 classics for sure.
Yeah, they're great. Hey, one quick thing before I go. So I know you guys took a little bit of a Run Disney hiatus for Princess. Any plans for wine and dine?
Negative. It's football season.
It looks awesome, but I think there's something going on. Like Emily might have a band. I gotta look at the dates again, but because didn't they release the themes? Like the themes are really awesome, right? Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, the 5K is Muppets. That's one that stands out to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there's a Tiana and like Ratatouille, which we love. Like, I mean, Ratatouille is our favorite Pixar film in this household. So, and it looked good. And like Mickey's like on the challenge. I might have to consider it. I might have to.
Swedish Chef was there and Mickey. Right. Like those two I loved, but I can't, man. It's football. They always have good football games that weekend, so I can't.
I got to make a decision here soon, though, don't I?
Scott's gonna be there.
Scott will be there for real.
Maybe
Scott will be there.
Maybe. I'll be doing the same thing. I'm going to buy my new annual pass and activate it when I go down for wine.
Yep, he'll be reading his Mickey Monitor on the plane. And then his DVC quarterly or whatever they call it.
DVC files.
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Yeah. So when's that? Is that March 12th? Is that what I remember?
I can check them out.
The sign up.
Yeah, March 12th, I think was the sign up. I think.
Dude, I don't know. There's no way I could
crazier things have happened on a cruise ship. I could come home with a DVC contract, eh?
No, dude. I try to win the credit, but I never. Dude, they've almost got me too. That stuff almost works. You gotta be careful with that. When you go in there and try to get the onboard credit, man, you got to have a strong will.
Well, one year, the DVC guy on the ship was like the voice of the monorail. So I had Mike like come over and meet him, and like he was this close to getting Mike, like with that voice and everything. Like
I was like, but Pam, dude, it's the guy, it's the monorail voice guy. We gotta say, I love Old Key West. I love Animal Kingdom Lodge or whatever they were selling. Grand Floridian. I can't remember what they were selling at the time. Like, come on, man, it's Disney's best kept secret.
Saying, please stand clear of the contract.
Exactly. The contract.
That was the best line of the night. Why you upstaging us? That was the best.
Oh man, that's awesome.
All right, Jared. Well, hey, you take care. Have a good week, and don't be a stranger. You got to call in more.
Right on. Take it easy, fellas.
Take care.
All right, we'll see you soon, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. That was awesome.
I might make a visit out there, Mike, and then I'll have to meet you up too because you're like close by.
Oh yeah, he's like just right across the river. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll definitely all meet up. Go see him. Oh my god, that's so funny. Yes, and people are talking about the scars from the annual pass lockout. That was
real.
Wade got locked out. Yeah, Aaron says he got his the day they went back on sale. It was such a weird time, right? Because you were committing to something that could have had zero value to you. You didn't know. It was, there was so much uncertainty with like your job. I mean, a lot of people didn't have the finances that they, the security in their job, and the world was such a weird. Oh my God, that was such a weird time.
It was.
I want to think about that.
Almost 4 years ago, we started.
Yeah, because we ran Marathon Weekend in 2020. We
ran Princess in 2020.
We ran Princess and just came home, and then the world fell apart because we did Pam's birthday, which is March 7th. And that was just when it was all starting to go down like that.
Yeah, I remember my brother's birthday. It was March 9th. And then the NCAA, like the Big Ten tournament, they're like, nope, we're not doing this. And it's crazy.
Yeah, because Paige obviously was working for Mizzou basketball, and she was in Nashville for the women's tournament. And she's like, we're not playing. I was like, what? She's like, they're in their tournament. Yeah, it was either in Greenville or Nashville. She's like, we're not playing. I'm like, why? Like, they're just shutting us down for COVID. I'm like, what? And then you saw the world shut down. It was wild. I was glad we're past all that. We didn't even talk about this either. I mean, we got 1900 Park Fairs back. That's what you like that place, don't you? You think it's better now with the new characters?
It looks like it's going to be pretty cool. You want to say what my favorite resort background loop is? It might surprise you.
Because we're getting ready to wrap. So yes, we got to get in for the end of the show.
You might think it's Old Key West, but it's actually not.
I'll listen to that. Because you made that loop, and I got on my Apple playlist. I listen to that one all the time. It's probably my most good.
I listen to it all the time, and it's missing some stuff because there's a lot of like steel drum music, which is hard to identify like which like steel drum song it is, But
whatever it is, I love it because
I got more to add to it. I got to work on it. So I have this whole loop too. It's 2 hours long, and I have it cut up on my iTunes in like 40-minute like segments because it's like too long of a file to have a 2-hour file. And that's the Animal Kingdom Lodge loop, man. I just love that loop. Something about like just the the creative music, you know, like there's this guy Samite. He like
yes,
would have never listened to his music in my entire life, but now I have like 3 or 4 Samite albums because I love his music in the Animal Kingdom Lodge loop. It's so great.
I have that loop. I have actually a few of those loops that have for him
because they've had some different ones over the years too. Yeah,
because there's one because they're labeled different. You know, they have different names, but I have that.
Well, you know my obsession with this, and like so I'm on message boards that talk about loops, and like when the lodge opened, was it like 98 or 99 or something? Like someone on this forum like went to the front desk and asked like, "Hey, what are these songs?" And they actually had like a sheet that listed out all the songs, and they shared it with
like Wilderness Lodge, like a bunch of the resorts. They give you like a playlist.
Yeah,
like, how awesome! And like Disboards back in the day used to have a thread where you could just like get them all. And,
right.
Yeah, because that was back when I was teaching, like my very first year, like 1999. Because I had dial-up internet back then, but at school they had a T1.
Yeah.
So that was
cool. It's that loop though. Like I listen to it all. That's a great like working loop too, because like it'll slow down sometimes, and then I'll like pick back up. Like you don't know the words, so I mean you don't know what they're saying most of the time. Like I have some like interpretations that are like my own, which is like fabulous. Like there's this one song where like that's part of the Animal Kingdom loop actually, where I like make my own words. Where like we're gonna go to Animal Kingdom, we're gonna have a fun day. Like it's just funny. Like I just love it, man. Those Animal Kingdom Lodge and park loops are just so good.
And finally, one of mine that I'm going to throw in here is the pre-illuminations loop. There's a couple versions of it. There's one from like they call it the 1999 version, and there's like a 2004 version, and both
the rave version
starts off with like some flutes goes doop 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 doop, and like that one like immediately. Yeah, it's like, but then there's other ones. So it's, the version that you always hear is this guy like start because like it's just
that's the best version.
Exactly. I mean, it's where everybody got their copy words. Sorry, it's where the
like the 2004 one is kind of like rave music. There's that song called like Texas, like do 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 yeah do do do. It's so good.
Like, to me though, like on top of I think the music is pretty good. It takes me back to like remembering those nights, you know, because back then too, my life was so much different, right? I didn't have as many responsibilities. Like when I was at Epcot, I wasn't worried about the next day. Like I was just in the moment more. Like now, you know, I'm a dad that's 50 and I got to worry. My job is much more intense and I got to worry about things the next day. And I got a lot more on my mind. Like back then I was just more in the moment and it just felt like life was so simple back then. You were just in the moment, man. And when I hear
those torches would light up and then the background loop would kick in, man, like the next hour was going to be amazing.
Oh, you just like, and like back then they had the parade. They had Tapestry Nations would come out. They could come, boom, 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 boom.
See, I never saw that, unfortunately.
Oh my, see, and that's one of my, there are certain things that make me sad that like I got to see and you didn't, because the thing is, that's one of those things. Because I know how much you love music and how much you love percussion. We were talking about this before the show, or the beginning of the show, that I want you to be the drum line for me. But I mean, one of the greatest parts, not only the puppets, because they had these like carnival type puppets, but man, one of the best parts was they had this big wheel and somebody would be sitting on this float. And I don't know if I think he really was playing the thing. And it was just different drums of different size, like bass drums. You just boom, 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 boom. But that's how the parade started. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom.
I think I might follow that guy on Twitter, actually, believe it or not. Because he like, because I'll see if I can find the account because they post stuff about like that parade all the time. And I know they were a performer, like they played some kind of instrument in it, you know. So
man,
I'll see if I can find them.
And it was like visual, but it had a beat, man. It had like a heartbeat. Oh man, that parade was
so good.
That's a good way to close the show, though.
And I love the Oelas. Like, so you go into Promise, you know, after Illuminations. Like, I always call that the Celine Dion song. I don't think it's really her, but
you're not the only one. I swore that was Celine Dion. And
I jokingly said that to Elizabeth. I'm like, oh, yep, Celine Dion's coming out. She's like, oh, is that really Celine Dion? Like, I don't think so.
I told my wife it was Celine Dion for a decade. I was like, that is Celine Dion.
But then, like, the Tapestry song, like, the Oelas, like, dude, that song like gives me goosebumps still to this day when I hear it. Man, it's so good.
Perfect. So good. All right, but we got to
go. I like that Riviera Holiday loop. I have that on iTunes. Like a lot of people like follow that loop.
Yes, good loop. All right, well, we are going to get out of here. We'll have more shows this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So join us for that. Real quick, I got to ask Scotty G. I'm going to ask you right here. I'm putting you on the spot. You going to be with us this week? Because Ricky,
it looks like I have to because Ricky texted during this show that she can't. So
I can announce it right here if you are. So
I think I'm going to have to.
There you go. So get your fix with Scott all week. So we'll have listener questions on Wednesday. Friday, we'll have a fun topical show. I think Friday, here's the premise of the show because we're talking about this. We're going to do a 40-minute podcast about the most important 30 minutes of your day on Friday. So that's coming your way. If you listen to the show on Thursday, tomorrow we're going to spend 40 minutes dealing with the most important 30 minutes of your day. Could be the first 30 minutes or the last 30 minutes, but we have a discussion to bring you about that. So that's coming your way on Friday's podcast. So stand by for that. Don't forget, though, throughout the week, we have trip reports Mondays, listener questions on Wednesday, panel discussions on Friday, but we have the conversation going all week long, all day on our Discord. So go to beourguestpodcast.com. Click on the Discord, join us. It's a conversation that goes on all day, all night with our listeners. We'd love to have you join us. Thanks to everybody who has brought that to life over the last couple of weeks. We appreciate you having you over there. So come on over and join us for that online conversation with our community. All right, don't forget our show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We are booking those 2025 packages to Walt Disney World. And don't forget, on your check-in day, free visit to the water parks. And God, please help us that both water parks will be open in 2025 at the same time. Nobody loves a water park like Scotty G. I'm just telling you. Got those trunks ready for next year?
I'm more like the pool guy. Like the water parks are still fun though. Like sometimes they're too hot during the day, Mike, for me.
Yeah.
I got the fair skin, but I do like my water parks. I definitely do.
Summit Plummets. I think I'm too old for Summit.
How much money would you raise for Give Kiss the World to ride Summit Plummet?
Dude, I don't think I could do it anymore. I don't think like there's certain things where you just gotta, you just gotta hang up the cleats. And I think I've done it a few times back in the day when Paige made me, but she was like 8. So yeah, I think my days.
I do miss some Crusher Gusher, man. Like me and Wade had so much fun on that. Like one of those like DVC parties at Typhoon, man. So much fun. Man, now I got to go to water park, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
We'd love to help you plan a 2025 vacation. Don't wish away 2024. You got the holiday season coming up. You got Halloween, Christmas, all that good stuff. So we want to help you plan a great vacation. To swing by themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. Thanks to everybody who does that. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons. We got a few new patrons this week. We appreciate you so much. Coming over patreon.com/beourguestpodcast, just $5 a month. And you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Of course, we'll have another live show next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. So join us for that. If you're catching this on the feed, give us a call and we'll talk Disney with you. And give us a follow on the social media. Scott's at Epscott, EPSCOT. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike on all the social media outlets. We'd love to talk to you this week. And we'll catch you over on Discord as well. All right, time to jump out of here. And we'll catch you this week with all the shows. We always appreciate you being a part of the Be Our Guest podcast family. Thanks for hanging out with us over the last hour. All right. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Thursday or a great Sunday night. Have a great week. So until we talk to you again, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. All right. Dude, William, I am not doing Summit Plummet. Nope. You can. I am not. Let me save this. Wait. Oh, shoot. Oh, got it. Hang on. Where is it?
Oh my God. My brother sent me this link. I don't know if he's in here watching. Sometimes he does. So have you ever seen the movie Kingpin? Oh, like Bill Murray and like Woody Harrelson and I think Randy Quaid's in it. Oh, it's funny. Anyway, Bill Murray's like Red Rose bowling ball is up for grabs on an auction apparently, which is it's funny. You'd have to see the movie, but for those that like Kingpin, I wonder how much it's selling for though. It's probably an outrageous amount.
You should check it out. So William, just go to beourguestpodcast.com and then right there on the widgets on the right side, it's like the third thing down. Just click on that and it'll take you there. It says like accept the invite or something, and boom, you're there. And download the app on your phone too, and it works great. And then pick a cool name. All right, Scott, I'll see. So you can do that tomorrow?
Yeah, I can do it tomorrow.
How she texted right in the middle of a show. Always. It's like my dad. So we all good? We are all good.
You gonna get the bite because you said you've had like a weird day, like you had pizza midday.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna get for dinner, but I'm hungry. I'm starving, but I got to edit the show first, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'm trying to talk to you tomorrow then. Well, I'll definitely talk to you tomorrow.
I appreciate you.
All right. See you. Have a good night, everyone.
Hey. All right. See you.
All right, bye.